This is problem 4 from the review sheet for our third exam in finite math. It says a student scored at the 79th percentile on a standardized test that was taken by 870 students. Okay? There were a total of 870 students who took the test, and this particular student finished in the 79th percentile. The question is, what was his rank? Now remember what percentile means. If you're in the 79th percentile, that means that 79% of the students who took the test scored the same or below. So if 79% of those 870 students scored the same or below, then we could figure out how many students had scored at that level. We can do that by taking 79% of 870. So if we take our calculator, 870 times 0.79 gives us roughly 687 students. So 687 scored the same or below. Well, if 687 scored the same or below, then the question is, how many scored above? So we could figure out how many scored above by taking 870 and subtracting 687. So 183 scored above. So that means where this student was in the 79th percentile, there were 183 students ahead of him or her. So that student's rank would have been the next one, which would have made it 184. So that student's rank is 184. Again, percentile, 79th percentile meant that 79% of the students were the same or below. So we took 79% of 870. There were 687 students that were at the same level or below. So that meant there were 183 students above. So this student came next in line, which would have made a rank of 184. Now let's look at the rest of that problem. The rest of the problem says, another student ranked 79th on the same exam. What was her percentile? So again, there were 870 students who took the test. This particular student had a rank of 39th. So if your rank is 39th, then you are number 39, which means there were 1 through 38 students ahead of you. There were 1 through 38 students ahead of you, if your rank is 39th. So how many students were the same or below you? Well, we'd subtract 38 from 870. So there were 832 students. If numbers 1 through 38 were ahead of you, then there were 832 students that were the same as you or below. If you're number 39, there were 38 ahead of you, so that makes 832 of the students who were the same as you or below. Well, what is that as a percentage? Because that's what the percentile would be. So if we take 832 and 870, to convert that into a percentage, 832 divided by 870 gives us an answer of 0.956. Which is 95%, which is the 95th percentile. Remember, typically when you're finding percentile, you drop any decimal portion of the percent. So instead of thinking of this as 95.6%, we just think of it as 95%. So if you were ranked 39th, you were in the 95th percentile.